On this week's episode of A Beer and a Bet, we talk all things Mitch Beer racing, track work whispers, upcoming runners, staking plans, and how you can win 2 tickets to the marquee at the Gong on this week's episode of A Beer and a Bet. Hello and welcome to another episode of A Beer and a Bet, and what a weekend it was, Beery. Artful Persuasion went bang, Brazil went bang, and you are having a field day down there at Kembla Grange.
In his Artful Persuasion, storming home out wide. Rock Revolution taken over by Artful Persuasion, moved up, grabbed the front and won. For Brazil, dashed through, grabbed the lead with 50 metres left to go. Brazil breaks through.
Didn't miss. This horse was $11. I even saw $12 at some stage. Ridiculous. Into about eights. We made them pay.
I love the less I hear from you, the more I know that you're invested leading into a race. And all I got was, I think I got one text message when they're in the mounting yard saying $11.
Yeah.
Then behind the barriers, you sent me a message that said, I feel sick. And then after the line, you've sent me just absolute gibberish. But how good. Like, we've had a really good opinion of this horse. He was really building. His first run was great. His second run, he just, he ran into a smart one and got a little bit far back, and then we hit that heavy, and it was like a punch in the nuts, really. And we pulled our socks up, went back up, and instead of saying, oh, let's go to the bush or let's do this, we just stuck to our plan. And he was brilliant. He ran down a really nice horse of Gaze that won the other day here, and credit to Spriggsy as well. And I think for all our owners, there's not one jockey at Kembla on Saturday apart from Blake Spriggs that would have won on that horse. Not because they're not as good a jockey as Blake, but he said to me, mate, don't panic. I'm going to have to really cuddle him and hold him, because if I get there too early, he's still a bit raw and immature, and I reckon he can think his job's done. He said, so I'm going to have to get there the last couple of strides, but I know this horse can do it, and I know on top of the ground today he's going to run enormous. And he backed his judgment, he backed the stable, and you just get those great results where jockeys hear that they can win every second horse they ride. So when we've got to come out and explain that to a new jockey and be like, oh, this horse is going really good, he just hit a heavy the other day, don't worry, he goes real good, cuddle him up and save him for the last minute, give him that whole Seabiscuit, go back and eyeball him story. They hear it all the time. Everyone thinks their horse. So credit to Blake. We're really forming a good little relationship with him, and he's putting in the hard yards as well. So wrapped with that.
A formidable combination there, and he's really bought into the team environment, now posting on Twitter about gluten-free snacks and things like that are really getting in his way. So, gee whiz, he doesn't even know it, but subconsciously he's really bought in. Sunrise will ride, good instructions, and nearly lowered the colours of a very good horse. Sunrise, she's flying. I purchased the horse that we got from Magic Millions, the broodmare sale early.
Yeah, she was huge. We had a plan. And that's one of my favourite sayings in racing is the operation was a success, but the patient died. And that's exactly the case with her. Everything went to plan. It was well executed. It was to the minute, and we ran second. So that horse that beat us is just it's a proper Saturday horse, probably even better. So stiff to run into it in Class 1. But if we had just got back and been with it on the corner, would have beat us 5 lengths. So
easy 8,000 jumps in as well.
Yeah, and she's put up super. So she's right on track to get far from her best. She will end up winning a Friday night at Canterbury, midway. She'll end up winning a race in town. I like her.
She's a good horse, and our only fear when we went and found her is that she had one career peak and then it was a bit of an outlier. So there was that element of risk, but she's returned to that. So the owners and everyone concerned should be very confident and very excited where she'll go to, because she was very, very impressive.
That's it. She's got a whole 3-year-old career ahead of her.
Plenty of time. Look, the last of the runners we'll touch on at Kembla Grange. It was a big day. We had a few runners, but Miss Big Shot, she was well backed and she looked like she had the job done at the 200. What happened there?
I almost just started walking away when she hit the front like that. And and just I saw Blake change the whip over, which is never a good sign when they're 3 or 4 in front, and she just slowed up bad. I'm like, oh, geez, something wrong there. I thought she might have had a bleed or there was an issue. She's had a few problems along the way with her knees, and I was like, oh no. And got to the mounting yard, and I saw her come in, and she looked a little bit uncomfortable. And I walked over, and sure enough, her tongue was coiled up. She got her tongue over the bit. It was purple and just cut her airway off. So we'll put a tongue tie on her, go back to Kembla, Fillies and Mares 1200 next Saturday. But yeah.
Just wait for those markets to open. We won't miss.
Yeah. She should have won by 3 or 4 lengths. And, these things happen, but at least it's something we can go home and deal with and fix, as opposed to a soundness issue or just not being good enough.
Looking ahead, 4 Pillars, Apollo Mission was really good. I thought he was super off. That was a 35-odd day sort of break up there at Rose Hill. Firing.
Mate, he went so good. Yeah. He's just been set for a long way for this 4 Pillars, and he was in a really good midway, and it couldn't have worked out any better. Got back, flew home, 1,500 in the 4 Pillars. Gets Rory Hutchins back on, who's won 2 on him this prep, and he won't know himself. He's just bang on track. He's come through the run like he could go around tomorrow. So we've just got to keep him on ice, wrap him with cotton wool, and those guys in him, like, full credit to him. I was telling them this horse goes well, it's going to win races. It's getting its ass handed to it, Narandra. I remember, I think I was at Caulfield races one day, and it was $3 favourite on a Sky. I had to ask him to put Sky 2 on at Caulfield, and he was $3 favourite and just whacked away, ran 5th half up the straight over a mile, and I just thought, there's no way they're going to let me give this another prep, but it's better than this. And they did. And now he's going to be a live chance in a $500,000 race. And he's won, 3 races at Kembla and 1 at Gosford in the last 8 months. It's unreal. So I'm just wrapped for him, and I can't thank him enough for sticking solid.
If your definition of a live chance is only needs even luck to be getting in right in the finish, then live chance horse is.
Hey, they're going to go so quick.
That's one of the best rating midways I've seen in a long, long time, and he's got 2 lengths in him. I'm going to amp you up.
When your report came through for him, I didn't open it.
Good.
Because
good.
I'm already excited enough. Sometimes.
Yeah, you don't need to be any more excited.
I don't need it. Need it. Right. I've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And I just think he's so well. I don't need anyone else. I don't need anything else.
What trophy do you get for a 4 Pillars? Is it a big bottle of gin? That silver horse might need replacing at the top, your top right or top left of your shot, or top right of
that big one. That big one up there. Mm-hmm. That was for an open handicap at Leeton.
I will keep that up there then. Leeton
that was more than the prize money, but it looks good. It looks like I won a huge race.
Yeah, it looks good.
You know what? They're pretty stingy on the trophies. When we won that listed race with Enmouth, nothing. Sash.
You're kidding.
Not even no.
We'll have to have a chat to Bob Charlie about that. Oh, I am. Righto.
Can I just tell you know what? I haven't told many people this.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think you were going to bring it up. Do it.
Right. Well, that was won that race. And there wasn't a lot of owners there. And so we've gone into the winning owners room after the race, and there might have only been 12, 14 people. Anyway, I spot this old bloke going over and getting a few beers, and then I was talking to a few of the owners, and I said, is he with you? Nah. Now I realised no one knew him. I thought, this bloke's just sort of coming with the group and a bit of a hanger-onerer, and he wasn't sort of talking to anyone and that. I thought, mate, out you get. So I went and got another drink. I said to that girl, that guy's not with us. He's come over to the bar a few times. And she said, oh, no drama. So I'll ask him to leave. And it was Bob Charlie, who the race was named after. And I nearly got the poor bloke booted out of his own presentation.
Oh, if you're listening, Bob, apologies.
Thanks,
it
Bob.
all makes sense now.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Fair enough. He didn't give you a sash. He gave you a sash. Could have given you a cup or a plate or of anything.
The great trophies are the ones you can use as something. You know what I mean? Like
a cheese platter set up.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because I use cheese platters all the time.
Yeah. Well, you might use a 4 Pillars. They might give you a 10-litre bottle of 4 Pillars gin or something.
Yeah, we'd freaking use that.
We absolutely would use that with a straw. Righto, track work whispers. Any horse working really good at home that we're just going to let the listeners know about?
I'm going to revert to my list here.
Mm.
I think Clever Art's come back from the beach and is going absolutely super.
Good.
She's going to go to town next week and then go to the Snake Gully Cup. So that's her goal, and she will be going very, very well when that time comes. I'm wrapped with her. Lightly Sparkled, ticking along great. She's improved out of sight. She's going to be a really nice horse for this preparation. Wrapped with her. There's a couple I can't talk about. I'm not because they're not going well. I just want to make sure, right? Because I'll be struck down.
We just need the one. I'll tell you what, speaking of making sure, you want to make sure you get your tickets to the Gong, the Mitch Beer Racing marquee, because they are selling out fast. I think there's about 50 tickets left, and it's as simple as subscribing to the newsletter, or, you know what, Steph at mitchbeerracing.com.au, let her know. It's going to be a huge day. I believe there's pizza, there's beer, couple of speed grade.
I'll tell you, I've got to give a big shout out. I was meant to wear my Boys to the Bush hat today. The Boys to the Bush crew down in Albury, who I miss dearly. We had a great relationship with them. They're in Lightly Sparkled, and they sent me a message during the week about I think there's about 6 or 8 of them that are going to come up for Gong Day, and or appreciate that. There's a huge crew coming from everywhere, but awesome. Yeah, the boys down there do a super job, and if you ever see, they're popping up in heaps and heaps of country towns across everywhere, Victoria and New South Wales.
What do they do, mate? And talk me through it.
They're a program which they originally took sort of kids that were a bit lost in the system, mainly young boys that were struggling at school or struggling at home, and they'd take them away camping and fishing and in camps, and just young lads that lacked that male mentor figure in their life. And we struck up a great relationship. We had some kids that really took to the horses and came down, and yeah, we had kids showing up that they'd wag school and come to the stables instead, but at least they were somewhere, and they weren't hanging around getting into trouble. And I ended up like we had one lad in particular. He ended up living with me for a couple of weeks till he sort of found some accommodation and things like that. So I got really involved, and we do miss them dearly, and they're a great organisation. So if anyone does get a chance and sees the boys from the bush in their town, they're a great group to get around.
Outstanding. That's great. We'll do a bit more of them. We'll might even get them on and have a chat at some stage. That's really, really good stuff, mate. Love to hear it. If you want to get your Gong tickets, go buy them. Steph at mitchbeerracing.com.au. Subscribe to the newsletter. Get involved. If you want to win your Gong tickets, make sure you put a comment in this YouTube section. Let us know who's going to win the Everest. That's what we want to know.
I'll tell you what.
Who will win the Everest, and why should Beery be part of this ceremony, the opening ceremony, the barrier draw next year?
If anyone comments a winner this week from anywhere,
it's the winner
that wins at half a decent price, right?
$10 or more.
$10 or more. Then the best price winner tip, they're on me. They can have a ticket.
There you go. The best price, the highest price, top tote, highest price winner gets a ticket to the Gong. We're also
one tip though. You can't be tipping for each race.
Yeah, one
tip only.
And Beery's going to go through all 300 comments and work out who won, because I won't be doing that.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, we still got those 2 tickets up for grab, Steph.
Yeah.
We still got those 2 tickets up for grab. So you comment. With that, you'll also go into the draw. So give us your best value play. Forget the Everest. You can give us an Everest tip as well. That could be where your best value play is. 2 tickets. They'll be drawn out the week before the Gong Day. It's going to be a huge day, Beery. DJ, pizza, beer, all inclusive in ticket price. You'll be there.
That's DJ, pizza, not DJ Pizza. Although if there's someone called DJ Pizza,
we need him.
Consider yourself hired. All right, like birthday parties, stable barbecues.
I love it. Super stuff. Geez, we can dribble. I'll tell you what.
Hey, our staking plan last week.
Oh my!
You were huge. You beat me, but we were an inch off being multi-millionaires. But it just physically pays people, that saying goes a long way. It pays to listen to this show.
Absolutely.
Pays.
Stole that from your man, Miles Fitzner. Pays to listen. And I tell you what, a complete fill up. It could have been even better. We went close. Kovalika was close. Sunrise was as close as it gets. They filled up, I believe, at 24% profit on turnover for me, 10% for you. I think we need to launch an investigation. I think it might be better if you're taking the early prices. But gee whiz, a big shout out to our man that's taking tracking those as well, which is cool.
Oh, there's a lot of people tracking them because that we hear from when they go under.
Yeah, you can
hear from when they win.
From a private number. Hey, let's look forward. A couple of runners. Old Greg heading to Wagga, the old boy Mere Mortal, and Mr. Metrics. Nick Suke. I shouldn't call him Nicky. Nick Suke booked to ride.
Mate, he could be your dad, that bloke. Yeah. Nothing like having 3 runners at Wagga on Everest Day, but that's the divisive sort of stable that we are. You know, we can be here, we can be there. We're not too big, we're not too small. So we know our place, and it's not at the Everest on Saturday. But they'll go down there, and then we're off to Nowra Sunday.
Can't wait. Give me a tip. Which are the best horses? Actually, you know what? How far does old Greg win by?
I'm just having my 100 on old Greg this week.
There you go. Didn't really want
to lay it down.
Lay it down.
There's a lot going on with the weather and barriers at Nowra. We could have 5 runners down there. We could have 1. A lot of balls up in the air at Nowra. But one thing's for certain, old Greg's going to get a long way back. Then he's going to get a long way forward. Right halfway down the straight. And our old man, Suke, he'll get it done. So, I'm Team OG this week. I'm all about this week is old Greg's week.
Beautiful. Butterfly Style, Vassos, Open, Sky, Order to Charge, Canadian Express, Suspect, all potentially lining up. They've accepted anyway for Nowra. Can you give us a push into any of those?
It just depends on the track. I think Open Sky would be a massive improver from his last start out to a mile. He's a winner at Nowra before. He's just drawn a little bit awkward. I like Butterfly Style. And I do think that Suspect can bounce back on a dry track. The bit of rain does worry me. And you come up to the stable for Derby Racing. It's lovely to have some support from them, and having its first start for us, Canadian Express, he jumped out here really well. So not an easy stable to improve run off from Bjorn's, but hopefully a bit of change of scenery and getting to Nowra would be ideal for him.
Well, Butterfly Style trialled up and won a trial horse that won that race. So that trial, was Sir Lunchlots, came out and was very impressive. Failed on a horrific track the same day that the Suspect did. I think Butterfly Style will be very, very hard to beat if it gets the right track. I think she's a talented filly, and I can't wait to see her go around. All right, mate.
I'll tell you, Gano.
Yeah?
So I'll just cut you off.
No, you're right, mate.
Anyway,
you host the show.
That's fine. We've had some very good news off the track this week.
You wouldn't believe
some of our partners and co-owners have become parents during the week because Counter Deal followed down an absolute belter of a colt by Grunt. He's an absolute beauty for a first foal. Lovely, big, strong colt to get a colt super. Mike and Debbie at Fairhill Farm have done an unreal job with that. I was getting photos and videos at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. It was awesome. So yeah, really exciting, and it's been so much fun to go along this journey, and they've really kept us in the loop of what's going on. So yeah, it was really, really exciting.
Well, just run the numbers on Butterfly Style. Oh boy.
I could see your eyes flickering in the corner there.
Wow. All right, staking plan. Hit me up. Hey, how good is it? By the way, if you want to get involved in the Counter Deal and the Colt by Grunt, how do we do so? Is there anything left? I believe there's a little bit left for anyone that wants to get involved.
Yeah, I think I still own about 30-40% of her, which is no dramas on wrap. But if there's a few, if you do want to experience,
righto, Chris.
involved from an early age.
Yep.
It's a special sort of thing because you get very attached and you go on that whole journey with them all the way through to either selling them or racing, which is yet to be determined. Probably be determined by how the rest of them are going at the time.
Grunts are going all right.
I mean, the rest of the horses here.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. That's a good point you make. Right, staking plan time. We went a bit rogue last week. We sort of, I spent $200 because I can. You can spend $100 if you want. You can spend $200.
You know what? Okay, it is Everest week. We can spend 100 on Everest and 100 outside Everest. I'm going to have 100 on Old Greg, and my Everest staking plan is $50 each way on traffic water.
How'd you come up with that?
Because some absolute stat form man told me a year ago that traffic water was the best 2-year-old of the season, blah blah blah, and I've stuck with him, and he owes me nothing. So unfortunately, that form man was too expensive, so we got you.
That's good. That's good for me. Traffic Warden, very hard to beat. Stefan Magnetica, a great value play. And if the track gets to a good 4 and it keeps drying out, I think another 3-year-old Storm Boy will be right there in the finish. I'm going to take my Everest money and put it on a horse that should have been in the Everest in the Sydney Stakes, and that's Southport Tycoon. It's $5. Ludicrous. It's a genuine $3 shot, like proper ludicrous. So I'm breaking the rules. $100 Southport Tycoon and $100 Butterfly Style, whatever price they put up, back it. That's what I'm doing.
All right. And on that note,
very confident. That's a beer and a bet, episode 20. If you want to subscribe, do it. If you don't, we don't really care. Until next time.
We'll find you if you don't.
Bye for now.